Ask someone if ancient humans were meant to have exactly one partner, and the answer usually depends on their personal background or cultural assumptions. It is a question that manages to be simultaneously evolutionary, anthropological, and deeply personal. We often project modern social expectations backward onto our ancestors, largely because the archaeological record offers no resistance. Relationships don't leave ruins, and romantic behaviors do not fossilize. When it comes to ancient mating, the archaeological slate is completely blank. Because human behaviors leave no physical remains in the dirt, solving this mystery requires looking for a completely different kind of record. Evolutionary biologists look instead at the anatomical archive. While mating behaviors vanish the moment an individual dies, the selection pressures those behaviors create over thousands of generations leave permanent, measurable marks. Different mating systems produce different selection pressures. If a specific behavior helps an animal reproduce successfully, the physical traits supporting that behavior are eventually written in bone and muscle, preserved long after the individuals are gone. We don't need a time machine to discover how our ancestors formed partnerships. The biological receipts from their decisions are still walking around inside our modern bodies today. Sexual dimorphism provides a clear starting point. This is the measurable difference in physical size and body mass between the males and females of a single species. Male gorillas are roughly twice the body mass of females. This reflects a mating system where dominant males maintain exclusive access to multiple females and must compete violently with other males to keep it. In this environment, larger males win more fights and have more offspring, creating a massive size gap. In strictly monogamous species, there is no reproductive advantage to being larger. If every male pairs with one female, regardless of his fighting ability, the selection pressure for increased male size disappears, resulting in a nearly equal size ratio between the sexes. Modern humans fall into the middle. The average male is roughly 15 to 20% heavier and 5 to 7% taller than the average female. This moderate size difference suggests our ancestors lived in a system that was neither purely monogamous nor highly polygynous. Our anatomy points toward a more complex intermediate reality. Another layer of evidence hides in the scale of male reproductive organs relative to total body weight. This measurement reveals the internal mating environment of a species. Chimpanzees practice a highly promiscuous mating system, where multiple males mate with the same female in rapid succession. This creates sperm competition inside the female reproductive tract, selecting for males who produce the highest volume of sperm. Consequently, chimpanzees have enormous testes relative to their body size. Gorillas sit at the opposite extreme. Because the dominant male faces no internal competition for his exclusive mates, there is no selective pressure for high sperm production. Despite their massive bodies, gorillas have very small testes relative to their size. Human measurements again fall between these two poles. Our proportions are larger than gorillas, but much smaller than chimpanzees. This intermediate size indicates that while we weren't as promiscuous as chimpanzees, ancestral females did occasionally mate with more than one male in close succession. A history of strict 100% monogamy is biologically inconsistent with these proportions. Beyond gross anatomy, our neurochemistry offers its own testimony. The brain utilizes a specific architecture of attachment, driven by the oxytocin and vasopressin systems. These chemical systems facilitate a preferential attachment to one individual over others. This pair bond evolved because pairs that stayed together were more successful at raising highly dependent human children through their long development. This bond is protected by the evolved psychological response of jealousy. Far from being a modern cultural invention, jealousy is a cross-cultural universal that functions as a threat response system designed to maintain the pair bond. The triggers for this response track with ancestral risks. Men generally report more intense jealousy regarding sexual infidelity, which historically threatened paternity certainty. Women report more intense jealousy regarding emotional infidelity, which threatened the redirection of a partner's resources and protection. We would not have developed these complex, energy-intensive emotional defense mechanisms if the primary pair bond hadn't been a central pillar of our survival for millions of years. Synthesizing the physical, structural, and chemical evidence leads to a specific scientific classification. Humans are a species of facultative monogamy. This means that a primary, emotionally significant partnership is our default operating system. every documented human society utilizes some form of marriage or recognized pair bonding to manage these relationships. However, the system is inherently flexible. While the pair bond is the expected baseline, the facultative nature of our biology allows for significant variation, accommodating everything from extra-pair relationships to culturally specific polygyny, depending on the environment. For our ancestors, the pair bond was the social and functional norm, but it was rarely a perfectly exclusive one. Modern debates often look for a clean biological mandate for how we should live, but our anatomy reveals a reality that is far more variable than any simple story allows. The evidence rejects the idea that exclusive, unbroken monogamy is our only natural state. If it were, the traces of competition wouldn't be visible in our size and reproductive anatomy. Yet, the biology also rejects the idea that humans are naturally built for unconstrained promiscuity. Our neurochemistry and the universal institution of the pair bond prove that we are deeply wired for attachment. We are built for a negotiated middle ground. The pair bond is real, but exclusivity is variable. Humans are a species where the need for a partner is absolute, even if the boundaries of that partnership have always been complex.